Hey, this is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. Well, today's the day. Today's the day we are going to try out to see if we can do the ultimate leg day workout. And I say that tongue firmly planted in cheek. I don't think there's a ultimate workout. Everything is trade-offs when it comes to working out. The biggest problem is, if you're like most people, you ain't doing it. Very few people engage in any type of regular resistance training, and very few people give it any real thought as to what they're trying to accomplish and why. Now, why would you want to be trying to engage in some sort of resistance training? Well, what happens is after age 30, you're losing about 10% of your muscle every decade. And that is valuable metabolic material that is going to keep you from frailty when you're in your late 60s and 70s. I'm 62, and I am trying like crazy to avoid frailty. I do not want to fall. I do not want to be having problems getting out of a seat unassisted. And the only way to prevent that is by working actively to do some sort of resistance training to make yourself stronger. Now, there's different theories on how to make that happen. You can use weights, you can use body weight, etc. I like to use bands because they allow me to do stuff like go work outside. You can take these to the park, you can take them when you travel, you can go anywhere with them. So, they're cheap, they're mobile, you can do them virtually anywhere. If you want to go off to the park and do your resistance band training there, you can. You've always got that option because they're so portable. Now, there's different ways of doing resistance training. There are some people that will say, hey, you just need to do one set to failure. And that is a viable thing. The problem with that, to me, my problem with it, is that I know I can play games with myself, and trying to think about, okay, am I at failure yet or not, etc., and how many sets is that, and how long is that going to take, and at what resistance, etc., that's kind of tough to me. So it's possible. I know there's some people that are very disciplined that can do one set to failure. Then there's other people that want to do multiple sets. They want to do 3 sets of 10, 9, 12, 8, 10, whatever, and that is kind of the way I started off lifting weights back in high school, because that was the way everybody did it. But it's time consuming. I mean, if you go to the gym and you watch the average gym bro do his 3-set things, they'll take time, like, a minute between each set, and all of a sudden, you're bench pressing. So instead of being a 1-minute thing like I do, is going to be a 5-minute thing. And that's just for one exercise. And then you've got to do multiple exercises. So that makes going to the gym very time consuming. What I have found, for me, what works really well is getting an interval timer and put that on my phone, and I just set it for a minute. Actually, I've got it set for 30 seconds because I want to keep it down to 30 seconds of rest between each set. So I just keep it on a continuous 30-second loop. I know, when a minute is done, I take 30 seconds, switch to the next exercise, and go off to the next one. And I keep that going as a way of getting my workouts done quickly. And the way I've kind of set up my bands is I know from experience, after I've done this a couple of times, okay, how far can I push myself in 1 minute to get close to failure? And I'm not doing that today because I can't talk and push myself to failure, but at least you'll get kind of an idea of how long it takes to do a workout. And I'm just doing what I would normally do is I do one workout each week that's an upper body workout, one that's a lower body, and then I do a TRX band or suspension workout on other days, which is a whole body workout. So I kind of mix them up, but I just keep the timing thing going so that I can push myself as close to failure as I can on all these different exercises. And I try to do it in a systematic way. So I'll be doing a push exercise and then a pull exercise, push, pull type thing, and different variations. So I'm not, I take a 30-second rest, but I'm hitting a different muscle each time. And that way I can keep the thing going, and I can get done in somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes, and that works for me. I can take that much time out of my day, and the nice thing about bands is I can do them at home, so I don't have to take time to go to the gym or anything like that. So let's walk through what would be a leg day, and hopefully this works. And I've got my timer set up for 30 seconds, so we'll go ahead and get that started. And I know in 30 seconds I'm going to start. Now, the first exercise that I want to do with the bands is basically a deadlift, because that's the biggest muscles that you're going to use in your legs. So you set this up on the ground, stand on it, and we just lift. Now, the idea is to keep the bar as close to you as possible and use your legs, not your back, when you're lifting it. So you're just lifting up straight as hard as you can, and you're using your leg muscles, mostly your quadriceps, a little bit in your glutes. That's the first 30 seconds. Try to keep your head up when you're doing that. Normally I do it heavier, but because I'm trying to talk. Okay, and that's a minute. Usually about that time, I'm pretty much dead and ready for the next exercise. Now, this looks very similar to it, except you keep your legs straight. So, step into the bar, now the band. And the nice thing about this exercise is you're working your hamstrings and your glutes, and you're just lifting straight up. Again, you can move your feet and alter the anchor points to increase the resistance. The nice thing about bands is, if this isn't enough weight, you can move your feet, change the anchor points, or you can add on more bands, or you can get to a heavier band. Now, I'm going to just show you. You don't have to use a bar when you do this. You can just do it holding onto a band on both ends and pull the same way. Or you can get bands with handles if you want to make it feel like a barbell, and pull up that way. Either way, all of them work. So the next one is overhead squat. So anchor points, lift your arms up, and then squat down with your arms overhead. Forces you to stick your butt out more, use a little bit more of your glutes, and it's a challenge because you got to utilize your core too in order to keep yourself straight. Again, you're working the quads, you're building up the biggest muscles in your body. Never skip a leg day. It is some of the most important muscles. It's the biggest place your body's going to store glucose. Fantastic for your overall metabolic health. Oh. So that's overhead squat. Now there's another type of squat that I'm starting to incorporate called a Wechsler squat. And this one you do use a barbell and step into it. And the idea is to cradle the bar. Whoops, a little too much weight. Cradle the bar in your arms. And this kind of helps you. It is hard on your glutes. You have to keep your core hard, etc. And this is really kind of important if you want to be able to carry your own groceries into the house as you get older. So just getting used to holding up weight close to your body, squatting, etc. Just keeps building up so many muscles. Oh. Now, one advantage of doing this outside is you get things like curbs and stuff like that. Because about this point, I'll take a break and want to do calf raises. Now, you can use the bands for extra resistance, or you can just get up on a curb and you're lifting your legs. Oops. Oh. Raising your calves, and you're letting them drop down a little bit between each one. Usually I do this inside where I can hold on to something. And you're raising your calves, but boy, when you let them drop a little bit and you hold that, that takes it up to a whole new level. So if you do it in a door frame using blocks or something like that, it helps with your stability. If you have very little ankle stability like I've got, it's a little bit harder. But you just, keeping the calves healthy and happy are really important. So that's that one. Let's get to the next one, which are my least favorite, which are split squats. Now, split squats can be done with what they call the Bulgarian split squat, which is where you lift your foot up behind you and you go into a deeper squat knee thing. But what you're doing is you're bringing your front leg over about your knee, over to your toe, and you're dropping the back leg down to the ground. And this is going to hit, if you want toned thighs, this is the exercise. I hate them. I really do. They require a sense of balance that I often don't have, and they are painful to do for a minute. But they will do probably more for your thighs and knees than anything else. Plus the rear leg, glutes and hamstrings, everything's getting worked. You keep this front strap under your foot, you can increase the resistance by grabbing further down. That was leg one. Now you gotta swap legs. So you got the band. If you grab down toward the bottom, you'll have more resistance as you pull forward on that front leg. So, yeah, there's lots of cool things you can do with these bands. This is not one of them. This is the painful one. So and I think you will find that one leg is dominant. I have found this in yoga, that I have better balance on my left side than I do my right. And it's tough for me to find the point of balance with this, because this front strap kind of pulls you off balance. By the way, I do not claim to be a fitness model. I'm not a fitness influencer. I'm just trying to encourage you to do something. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you want to do something to challenge your body and keep working. Now, we're going to do some glute work with these bands. Now, what I'll do is hook this around my leg, and it goes around your ankle. Then you step on it, and you can control the resistance by how close you stand to your other foot. And the idea is to just lift your leg, and you're working your glutes, your butt muscles, which are really about your largest and most powerful muscles you've got on your body. And again, they absorb a lot of glucose, get that blood sugar out of your bloodstream, but they're also your stabilizing muscles. It is interesting to me that whenever it seems like I used to hurt my back, it was usually because my glutes were way too tight. And I have found that by using bands to strengthen them, I've had fewer backaches, because these are stabilizer muscles for your back, and the stronger you get them, the better your back is going to feel in the long run. So that's side one of glutes. Now we switch the band over to the other side, other ankle. And we get ready to do it again. And you can work your glutes by going out straight to the side, or you can go backwards. Doesn't make any difference really. You know, you really just want to work that hip and help build those glutes, because and frankly, it's for such a big powerful muscle, it's amazing how just using my smallest band is enough to really get them fired up. Four more seconds, and guess what? We're done. That is a complete leg workout, and we got it done in 12 minutes. 12 minutes, and we've hit all the major muscle groups. Normally I would push them all pretty close to failure. I fired them up, but I didn't push them to failure. And it doesn't require a lot to make the muscles bigger and stronger. And the research keeps pointing to the fact that just doing one set once or twice a week will build muscle and strength. And if you do that, if you can achieve that, you are doing better than 90% of the population. And that one kind of fires me up sometimes, because there are these different things that I will go over, like different tests to see where you are physically, like how many push-ups can you do in a minute, how many times can you stand up from a chair unassisted, and stuff like that. And for my age group, I'm considered a top-rated athlete. And you just watch me. You know I'm not a top-rated athlete. But just by doing a little bit of exercise a few times a week puts me up in almost to an elite level for people my age. And that's kind of scary at one level. At another level, hopefully that is a motivator for you to be able to do more than you're probably already doing. So hopefully that'll give you some ideas. Check on YouTube. I mean, there are just tons of great websites with really well instructors that really know their stuff, that can show you a much more proper form than I do. But I just wanted to hopefully give you some motivation to give it a try and to try this stuff out. This is Kirk, the Bariatric Carnivore. If you like this message, please hit like and subscribe. Join this channel. Leave a comment. If you want to critique what I did, I will just probably go, yeah, you're right. I know I could do it better, but I'm trying to show you how to do it while watching myself on a video camera, and that's not my typical way of doing it either. So give me some mercy and breaks on that one, and I will talk to you again soon.